Hey, third graders, Mrs. Wood here. I hope you all had a chance to watch my last video, the first one for the year, where I welcomed you guys to third grade. I'm so excited for you guys in third grade, and also spent some time reviewing second step lessons. So you guys have learned a lot over the years from second step. And we're going to continue in third grade. So this is our very first lesson of second step for third grade. Now, a lot of what we're going to talk about are things that you have already learned and are going to be reviewed. So hopefully these are things you are remembering to use every single day. And so our very, very first lessons, we are going to get into doing a review. If you guys have been here in past years, this will be a review. If you're brand new, again, welcome. And this will be new, but we'll get you caught up so you know. So if you remember, we have 4 different skills for learning, and you can see them right behind me. And so today we are going to talk about how one skill for learning is how we focus attention. And we're also going to talk about listening as a skill for learning and a way to be a respectful learner. So I'm going to take down my poster here. I know that what we do at the start of every school year, and even though things are kind of different this year and you guys are learning remotely, I know that teachers have still been working really, really hard during these first week or 2 of school to talk about our Positive Panther Big 4. So we review making good decisions, show respect, solve problems, stay safe. And often I know that you guys and your teachers will make charts, T-charts, where, as you can see, I made one behind me. We talk about what it looks like and what it sounds like. And so we're going to talk about it from our classroom perspective and the things that you do to be good learners and show respect in your classroom. And also how our second step skills incorporate into being a respectful learner. All right, so when you think of respect, and again, reflect on what you've already talked about in your classroom about what it means to show respect. What are some things that we can see if we're looking at somebody? I want you to think about it. And I'm going to start with some of our second step skills. And so if you remember, we've always talked about 4 different things that we do that when we look at someone, if we see these 4 things, we think, wow, they are focused, they are ready to learn, they are showing respect. And if you remember, we had some hand motions that go along with these things. Hopefully that triggered your memory. So let's talk about these. We talk about under what it looks like when we have our eyes watching, right? So showing we're ready to learn and showing respect means that we have our eyes on the teacher or whoever it is that has a turn to speak. Our eyes are watching. And then we also have our ears listening. So our ears are listening and tuned in to the speaker and what is being said. And what that means is if somebody else is teaching or having a turn to speak, our voice is quiet, our voice is off. And then finally, we have that body still, right? If we're moving around a whole lot or our eyes are in other places, it can be really hard to focus and maintain that attention. And then I'm going to add one other thing that we've talked about, and we'll talk more about this one when we get into our be assertive of one of our skills for learning. We talked about how we raise our hand, right? I know I've sat in on some Zoom classroom meetings, and I'm going to stand over here so you can see. And it's been great that even on the computer on Zoom meetings, I have noticed students showing respect and doing all of these things on Zoom meetings, including raising their hand when they have something to say. It's certainly hard on the Zoom meeting. If everybody's blurting out at the same time, you really can't hear. And so these are some of the things that respect looks like. These are the things we can see people doing that show, one, they're ready to learn, and two, they're being a respectful learner. All right, and so then on the other side, we have what respect sounds like. So again, I want you to think about some of the things you may have already talked about in your class, as far as if I had my eyes closed and I couldn't see anything, what are things that I would hear that would convey showing respect or respectful behavior? I would imagine that you've talked about this one, right? Our words are very, 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 very important. And using kind words, respectful words, not being mean to people, not putting down people, not making fun of people. We show respect by making sure that we have kind words coming out of our mouth. And often that means that we have to think before we speak. We need to think about the words that are in our head and ask ourselves the question, if I say this, is this respectful or not respectful? And if the answer is it's not respectful, don't let it come out of your mouth, because hurting other people with words, not respectful behavior at all. Another thing that we talk about when we talk about what respect sounds like are using good manners, right? What are some of the words that show good manners? There's certain kind of magic words that we use that convey manners. What are those? Please, right? Thank you. Excuse me. And sometimes if we mess up, we need to say sorry, right? And so using respectful words and good manners goes a long way to helping us get along well with other people and in showing respect to other people. If you go up to your teacher and you say, I need a pencil, how do you think your teacher might respond to that? I know I would probably say, can you try asking me again in a more respectful way? Can you think about how you could ask for a pencil in a respectful way? What would that sound like? Mrs. Wood, could I please borrow a pencil? Oh, of course, I will loan you a pencil. Respectful words go a long, long way. All right, so as in the past, we have a story card. So I'm going to put the story card up way close, and I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to reflect on some of these questions that I'm asking. All right, so here we go. We'll make sure that you get it nice and good in there. All right, so up in the pink in the front of the class, that is Sita. She is explaining how to count the edges and vertices on a triangular prism during a math lesson. The other students are being respectful learners by focusing their attention on Sita and listening carefully to what she is saying. All right, so I want you to look at them. Look at the things that they are doing to show Sita they are respectfully focusing attention and listening to her. Okay. So remember, we are 2 skills for learning we're going to talk about today. So remember that first one, that focus. Remember, focus, focus, listen, listen. So when we focus our attention, we make sure, again, that our eyes are watching whose ever turn it is to speak. Remember, it's not always the teacher that has the turn to speak. If it's a classmate, you need to show them respect as well and focus your attention on them. So we concentrate on the person, or we're concentrating on our learning. Sometimes we might be working on an assignment, and we need to make sure we're concentrating and focusing our attention on that task. This means using our eyes, our ears, and our brain. Again, our eyes are watching, paying attention to what's going on. Our ears are listening to the lesson or what is being said, and our brain is thinking about everything that we're seeing and we're hearing. Because when our brain is thinking about it, that's how it gets stuck in our brain and we're learning those new things. This also means ignoring distractions, okay? Our hope is that everybody is being a respectful learner with their eyes watching, ears listening, voice quiet, body still. But sometimes people aren't always doing that. And if somebody else is not being a respectful learner, that means that you have to work extra hard to not be distracted and keep your focus on that. So, one, it's important to work hard and ignore those distractions. And two, it's important, don't be that person who is a distraction. Because what that means, if you're not using your listening skills, you're not focused on learning, not only are you hurting yourself because you're going to miss what your teacher's teaching, and you're not respecting yourself as a good learner, but you're also not respecting your classmates because that's taking away, they're trying to learn and they want to learn. And if you're the one being a distraction, that makes it hard for them to learn. And that is not showing respect. So we focus our attention. And then our next one, listen, listen. Again, we're focusing on the speaker, whoever that is. So our eyes are watching them, but we're also listening to what they're saying. We're waiting our turn to speak. We don't interrupt. We don't blurt out. We focus until it's our turn. If we have something to say, we raise our hand, right? And wait to be called on. And again, remember, we're using our brain. So we're thinking about what we're hearing. That's how we get things to stick in our brain, is we think about them. And we're also thinking about questions. Like if you don't understand something, or if you're interested to learn more about something, raising your hand and asking questions is a good opportunity to learn some more things about that. Okay, so again, our first two skills for learning are focus, focus, listen, listen. And those help us not only to be the best learners and grow your third grade brains, but they also help you guys to show respect and be the most respectful learners that you can be. Now, those were our first two skills for learning. And if you remember, we have a couple more skills for learning. And so in our next couple of lessons, we are going to talk about our be assertive, our using self-talk, and our being assertive. And just a little review, because you probably remember from past years, self-talk means that we say things in our head to help remind us of what we're supposed to be doing. We might be reminding ourselves, focus, focus, listen, listen. And then being assertive is when, if we don't understand something, we raise a hand and we ask for help when we need it. All right? Okay. So we have songs that go with second step lessons, right, guys? So I'm going to play our Be a Learner song. So I want you to focus attention on the words of the song. And when you hear the words either respectful or respect, I just want you to kind of put your hand up, okay? And you know what? This would be a great chance to stand up, take a little movement break. I'm going to be here dancing and remembering to raise my hand when I hear respect or respectful. But this is a good chance to get some movement. Here we go.
All right. Come on, listen now. Be respectful. Yeah, yeah. Be skillful. Yeah, yeah. Be a learner. Yeah, 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 yeah. Be respectful. Be skillful. Be a learner. Yeah, yeah. You come to school to learn. Well, there's lots of things to see and do, so make the most of it. The power is inside of you. Focus attention. Listen with your ears, eyes, and brain. Use your self-talk. Be assertive and you will gain. The lesson is starting up. Your eyes and ears are focused in. When someone starts to talk, show your respect by listening. Focus attention. Listen with your ears, eyes, and brain. Use your self-talk. Be assertive and you will gain. Be respectful. Yeah, yeah. Be skillful. Yeah, yeah. Be a learner. Yeah. Be respectful, be skillful, be a learner. Haha, yeah, I think you got it. Keep saying stay on task. Ignore distractions, that's the key. And when you need some help, be sure to ask assertively. Focus attention. Listen with your ears, eyes, and brain. Use your self-talk. Be assertive and you will gain. Be respectful. Be skillful. Be a learner. Be respectful. Be skillful. Be a learner.
All right, that was fun. And hopefully, wherever you are, you're not around a lot of people, so you feel okay about getting up and dancing. And I hope when you come back to school, you're not shy to get up and dance either. So now, guys, you get to be the teacher. And so also a home link, just like in past years, is going to be attached here on your teacher's page. And so this is your opportunity to be the teacher and teach somebody in your life about what we talked about today. So we talked about showing respect, what it looks like, what it sounds like. These things aren't just for when you're at school. These things are for everywhere you go, at home, out in your neighborhoods, when you're out in public. These things are all important too. So talk about how you show respect in your homes and how being a respectful learner helps you be the very best learner possible. I am so excited to get to teach you guys again during third grade. I'm even more excited for when we actually get to be here at school and I get to teach you in person in your classrooms. But for now, I want you to really, really focus on these lessons and think about them and take them in your brain, because when we come back at school, we're going to continue to build on what we're learning. So I hope you guys have a super wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.